What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an AVCT, Technicals and Statistical Threat of Analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could join ARCab, our server in Discord trading community. With that said, let's begin. You guys, there are a couple impersonators popping up in the Discord server. I have since started banning all those accounts. But please, if on other platforms I appear and I message you first, just know that that is definitely not me. I am not sending any messages first to anyone, you guys. So if you need to verify that it's me, you can use another platform to message me or direct message me on Discord, and I'll definitely verify that it's not. But for sure, rest assured that I will not send you a message first. And another thing, if you don't understand English, you guys, please make sure to select this gear icon right here. And if you don't already have English auto-generated, make sure to select it so that you can be able to get this auto-translate feature right here. Because if it's on off, you'll notice that it doesn't appear. But you do have to click on it so that you can get this auto-translate to pop up. And as you can see right over here, there are a lot of languages for you to choose from. So with that said, you guys, let's officially dive into the charts for AVCT. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about reclaiming this large channel that we've been in for quite a while now. We did notice that the candle, this candle right here, I mentioned to you guys that we would need a daily closure or an 8-hour closure, below the support from the channel itself in order for us to confirm a continuation onto the downside. As you can see, we actually reclaimed the channel and now are back to test that support one more time, you guys. So we are currently right at the 236, the not 236 fib ratio, as it could be. We're right at it, you guys. So this could potentially be serving as support. We do have the 7-day exponential moving average and the 10-day simple moving average above us as resistance, but these are very close. It's likely to break out of it. Excuse me, you guys. Okay, so let's move on to the next chart. I have some things to show you. Okay, this is the falling wedge that we've been looking at right over here, you guys, and we did say that we can possibly gain, this is within the bi-hourly chart, by the way. We did say that we can potentially start to realize the wedge when we're at about 70% or 75% to the apex of the wedge itself. We have since broken out of that wedge, and now we are testing the support. This is going to be the newly converted resistance into now support, and we are currently testing it right now, you guys. So this is looking pretty good for AVCT stock in raw price action. Let's go ahead and move on to the next chart to see what we got. Okay, so this is the statistical side of the analysis, you guys. Definitely some things to look out for within this chart. So definitely pay attention here, you guys. Okay, so for the new viewers, we are looking at volatility represented by this indicator, BBWP. Volatility is direction neutral, only because we start a contraction phase from this fully expanded area, which I consider to be extreme critical zone at above, let's see, at or above the 90 percentile, you guys. So you can see that we've actually been printing 2-day bars. Every bar that you see here is an iteration of 2 days because we are in the 2-day chart. So the longer we stay up here, the more volatility buildup there is. Now, since it is direction neutral, we need to be able to pair it with an indicator similar to this one right here. This is stochastic momentum. It's similar to an RSI, and thus far, it has been right with its average upside accuracy. It's been right at about 83.33% of the time. So out of 12 iterations, it got 10 correct right to the upside. Now, the iterations that you see here, the measurements that you see here are based on a retracement from the critical high zones. So from fully expanded, excuse me. So from fully expanded volatility above the 90 percentile, we have taken every iteration particular to the upside thrust, the duration, and the amount of times that it's gotten it correct versus incorrect. So this doesn't happen very often, you guys, but out of the 12 iterations, we have 12 correct. So that gives us an averaged upside accuracy of 100% with an averaged upside thrust of 58.53% over the span of about just over 32 days. This is proof of work. So let's go ahead and get into the interesting parts of all this, you guys. If we apply the 53% to the upside from the signal when it fired, which actually could be right over here. So if we apply it, it suggests for us to actually clear the 236, the not 236 Fibonacci ratio, which just so happens to be at the resistance of these candles right over here, you guys, before a continuation onto the upside, right? Now, let's move on to the really juicy part of this. We're going to look at the momentum oscillator here, you guys. As you can see, this trend line right here is actually following a downtrend. This is, if you will, this could be a type of trend line regression rejection. And we are now at lows, at historical lows, actually, you guys. We have never, beside this one iteration, we have never touched these lows since. And this iteration was actually May 2020, and I'm talking about during the entire history of trading for AVCT. We're talking about from 2017 to 2022. We've only touched that area one time, and we are currently there, you guys. And as you can see, the pivot now is actually slightly kinked and possibly ready to actually reverse, you guys. So what's interesting here is that if you can see here in the trend line with the trend line facing downward like this, you guys, you can see that we cross the exact point where this retracement started and ended. So let's go ahead and take, this is one of one iteration, so we actually can't really apply it. This is actually speculative, and what I'm talking about here, it just so happens to be very cool to mention since we are at that same point, you guys. So from this area right here, let's go ahead and just look at the price action, you guys, because that's it's very cool to take a look at. So based on retracing from that extreme low percentile of the momentum oscillator, we actually bounced 265% to the upside from this to this point right over here, which is where we're currently at and where we could potentially touch, right? So just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and apply that 260% moved upside thrust to the price action where we currently are at the current position. You can see that it takes us right above the golden ratio, the 1.618 golden ratio, you guys. It takes us right above it, and so now we have actually a resistance range considering the 1.618 fib at 79 and the upside thrust of 264% at about $4.21. That gives us a very desirable area. As you can see right here, this candle touching right at the support of the 1618. This candle used this area as a resistance. You can see that we're bouncing well within this area. This candle has a high of right at that 264%. Guys, this is a lot of rhyming within this area. I am definitely okay. Before I say this, you guys, I am not a financial advisor. Please take whatever I do show and indicate in these videos as a form of entertainment. Do your own DD and we'll be okay, right? So just know that I am long. I'm long this stock. So I'm potentially averaging down as we go, but we are at an extreme oversold level right here. Since it's like an RSI, we can actually use terminology like that, you guys. So we are at extreme oversold. It's potentially starting to pivot towards the upside, and if you take a look at our pivot right over here, you can see that the volatility component of BBWP and the moving average are now starting their contraction phase. So in order for us to validate the criteria for this, or the criteria in order to validate the move, actually better said, would be the volatility component and the moving average, both under the 90 percentile, pivoted towards the downside alongside stochastic momentum suggesting upside with both the signal line and the average. Okay, you guys, and then we can go ahead and start applying the 58 spot 43%. Actually, it's 58 spot 53% to the upside, you guys. So that is the criteria that it does have to meet. Let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we got. So let's actually jump to the 12-hour RSI. Yesterday, we caught a potential two drives of bullish divergence, you guys. So now we can actually make the adjustment to right over here, since the pivot has started towards the upside now. So now we have confirmed two drives, actually, and a third actually right over here to right over here, which is this, and it's slightly to the upside. So this is three drives of bullish divergence, you guys, on the 12-hour. So we can definitely give this some weight. Some exponential moves could be on the way for AVCT, you guys. So let's go ahead and catch a bias in the direction for the immediate short term. First of all, let's just look at this 12-hour. We are pivoted towards the upside and now crossing the moving average, which is bullish. We do have to keep an eye, though, because of the position where we are. New listeners, please listen up. This is a regular RSI. I have it split into two. This upper half is the bullish control zone. The bottom half is the bearish control zone. The inner workings of either halves is the weakness percentile, and the outer portions are the strength percentile. So you have bull strength percentile and bear strength percentile, just in case you hear me mention that and you don't know what I'm talking about. So actually, I'm going to have to mention it real fast. So we have to keep in mind that we're well within the grips of the bearish control zone right here and bear strength percentile, you guys. So it is pivoted straight to the upside, which is good. Price action is suggesting a continuation, and as you can see here, we've pretty much printed an inverted hammer at the bottom of a downtrend, which is usually a trend reversal signal right here, you guys. So I mean, if you guys haven't caught the other analysis videos that we've been doing, you guys, you may have missed the entry that we were already looking for. I am already long on this and am currently up about 4 or 5%. I am waiting to see if we can actually potentially meet the criteria for the volatility versus momentum profile. So as soon as we do make that, I'm going to then consider adding to my position or something else. But let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane and just see what is good for the early sessions, you guys. Let's go ahead and just maximize these RSIs so that we can see what we got. Let's go to the 30-minute immediate short term. Okay, so immediate short-term time frames are within the shallow areas of either weaknesses. Can't speak English right now. Sorry, you guys. And it looks like there's a potential of making a bearish cross of the moving average. I wouldn't give the bullish scenario too much weight over here, you guys, because it is within the shallow areas, which can gravitate us towards the bear weakness percentile, you guys. Let's look at the 15-minute. It should be similar. Yeah, it is similar, you guys. But however, it is within the it is within bull weakness right over here, and we are trading below the moving average, which is a bit bearish. But let's go ahead and get an overall picture. This is going to be the bi-hourly RSI, and the bi-hourly has since created a bullish cross above the moving average. The moving average is hinting an upside continuation, and we are now entered into the bear weakness percentile. Let's look at the 4-hour and see what we got, you guys. So the 4-hour is now in the shallow in the shallow areas of the bear weakness percentile, primed to enter bear weakness and a suggestion towards the upside. So we may be able to get some immediate short-term downside followed by some upside, you guys, starting potentially within the early pre-market. We can see some bearish action followed by mid-morning to mid-session some upside price action. So this is the 6-hour, and the 6-hour is also suggesting a continuation to the upside. It has made a cross above the moving average, which is bullish, and we are in the shallow areas of the bear strength percentile, which is likely for us to be gravitated toward the bear weakness percentile. This is the daily, since we already saw the 12, and it is suggesting an upside, and now it is approaching the shallow areas of bear strength percentile. So it looks like the bears are starting to lose a little bit of strength, which can coincide with covering some short positions for the meantime, you guys. So yes, I am potentially looking at a continuation of testing this newly converted resistance into support before a continuation on to the upside, you guys. So as you can see, you can see here in the, I believe this was yeah, this was in our session. We actually called that we could potentially, yesterday we said this, we could potentially use the 1.618 as a resistance before us coming back down and starting to test our newly converted resistance into support. We have since gotten that exact move, you guys. So this is what I was talking about for my more conservative traders. Wait for us to confirm this area right down here. So this is pretty much where we are right now. So I would consider possibly a long entry right over here, you guys. But I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Twitter, on Discord. I'll leave all the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCa trading community. And with that said, I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.